Well, Ulysses, what can we say? That's not a great start to a best of three wild card series.
No, no, no. We're gonna have to talk a lot about this game, so let's get started right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays. You can also find us on all the other traditional podcasting platforms and on the social medias X and Instagram. And lockedonrays@gmail.com is our email address if you want to hit us up there. Well, the Tampa Bay Rays lose game one in a best of three wild card series against the Texas Rangers by a score of 4 to goose egg. I think, however, the Rays had as many errors as the Rangers had runs, so I guess they have that going for them.
My goodness, that was the sloppiest Rays game that if you would have told me, hey, Yuli, what do you think is the worst case scenario to start a playoff game? I could not have come up with that we just saw. Nothing. I mean, that was an all-encompassing WTF. Everything wrong.
Yeah.
Everything wrong. But I will start with one of the biggest things that I think. You have men on first and third. You have Jose Siri up, who has one sacrifice bunt in his major league career. Now, granted, he is no veteran. He is no 10-year, look at me, I've been in the major leagues for so long. One bunt in his major league career. And this is when you decide to bunt with him. And apparently, he's okay to swing because he swung in his next at-bats. Were they successful? No, but he swung. You couldn't let him swing with first and third? A guy that you have never seen him bunt except for once? And I did not listen to Kevin Cash's press conference. I missed it. My app, the iHeart app, pooped out on me. I did get to hear what Jose Siri said about it, which I liked. And he said it in Spanish. He said, they asked him, what did you think about the bunt there? And he said, si él es el jefe, tengo que hacerlo. Which means, if he's the boss, I have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was Kevin Cash. That was Kevin Cash saying, put down a bunt. A man who never does this. And in the worst possible time, he sends a guy that has one sacrifice bunt to do it. A guy that had 25 bombs. He had more bombs than Randy Arozarena. I will repeat that for the people in the back. He had more bombs than Randy Arozarena. And you put him to bunt. Please take the mic.
But is his hand or wrist or whatever he got damaged fully healthy? I know he's swinging the bat, but
no, I don't think so. It didn't look it. But if he swung his next at bats, then you can't tell me, well, actually his hands can only take two swings or two contacts with the baseball. Then that's the one. Okay, then you burn that one because it could be a 3-run Jimmy Jack and you've got yourself a ball game.
Yeah, and I don't think we fully expected. I mean, besides the Kevin Cash decision or whatever went into the bunt situation, I don't think we should be putting all our marbles on Jose Siri being able to contribute offensively. And if there's one thing we learned, I guess we learned something new today, is that if you don't play ball for a couple weeks, not only is it hard to make a transition at the plate, but evidently defensively too, in terms of reading balls off the bat and handling the trop dimensions and the field and the turf, and then making throws to third base, because that was something else defensively from Jose Siri as well. And it wasn't just him, not the Jose Siri show. There was a lot of other garbage to go around, which we'll get into it a little bit more. But first, we have to tell you this. Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is super easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and beyond. So be sure to do this. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn, LOCKEDON, to kick off the NFL season. We're about at the quarter pole of that right now. FanDuel, they are an official partner of the NFL. And as a reminder, you want to visit FanDuel.com to check out all those money lines, props, and so on. All right. So besides and beyond what Jose Siri could or couldn't do at the plate and in the field, there was a lot of other porous things to go around for the Rays, from Tyler Glasnow walking 5 in exactly 5 innings pitched. The offense going 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position and leaving 7 on base. Just not being able to score a run either.
Yeah, look, I think Tyler, now the line looks ugly. During the game, you felt like he really did all he could. It's just the defense let him down, especially in the beginning. Like, Yandy, man. I mean, Yandy's hurt. Like, it's obvious. Like, he couldn't stretch. He couldn't dive. And I know that he doesn't have the biggest range. He's no Manny Machado, but we've seen Yandy make plays like multiple times that were even harder than the ones that he was expected to make on Tuesday. So it's like, okay, so there's some injury there. So then there's an injury in center field as well. First base. I mean, it's just a depleted, injured team out there, and it wasn't good baseball. I mean, Taylor Walls made an error. I mean, the 2 guys that you got in there because defense matters.
He did make a great play deep in the hole, though. He did make a great play deep in the hole at short.
Yes, he did.
On a one hopper to Yandy Diaz that ended the inning. So
yes, he did. But the at the end of the day, he still made that error. And so, like, the guys that you are supposed to be leading, at least defensively, did not respond. The guy that you are he's supposed to come through with the bat did not, and then put errors on the field at first base. You didn't put Josh Lowe, even though he's been league average against lefties this season, and he's been hitting anything that comes across the plate, and you sit him down. I overall, it was just, I'm trying to wrap my head around the one good thing that happened today. And I can't even say attendance. I can't even say that, oh, they really cheered loud for the Rays. They didn't. Amanda Diekman, Jake Diekman's wife, she put out videos of the trop. It was dead. It was dead. It's the playoffs, and the Rays wives were the only ones cheering. Like, that is embarrassing. And I understand it can be difficult when you're looking at a sloppy team play that way to cheer them on, but that's what you got. It's the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I know that I might be biased because I've told you before, I do not understand the mentality at the trop where people just don't do anything. It's a baseball game. Clap, scream, say something. To just lay down like you're at the beach. I've seen people sleep at the trop. It felt like that's exactly what happened today, man. From the TV. And another thing, the broadcast team, it seemed like every time they had to talk about the Rays players, it gave them like acid reflux. and they responded by just being as negative as possible about the Rays players. I can't find one positive thing about today, and I don't know if you can help me with that.
No, it's really difficult, and here's what should be concerning. It has now been how many innings since the Rays have scored in the postseason, dating back
27.
to last season? 27 innings. I think it could also be a mental thing. Can we get over this hump? Can we get over this hurdle? And I think that you're going to start to see some pressing in game 2 and, God willing, if there's a game 3. And you hit on it. I think this team is worn out. They're battered. They're tattered. We know that the Rangers kind of limped into the playoffs, but the Rays, we know about the injuries that they've experienced and that they're still experiencing. I mean, they're playing injured guys on the roster right now, and they're without Wander. They're without Brandon Lau. They're without so many of that core of pitchers. And here's the other thing. I think this is where you get into the playoffs and experience and veteran, highly paid athletes matter and make a difference. You look up and down the Rays roster, the Rays lineup, who got at-bats and got playing time. I know Josh Lowe probably wanted to see more from him. I don't disagree with that. But at the end of the day, he only has one full season under his belt. Curtis Mead has 83 career at-bats to his name. Jonathan Aranda, 165. Junior Caminero, 34. Renee Pinto, 183. Now, contrast that with guys like Marcus Semien and Corey Seager and Grossman and Garcia and Nate Lowe and Taveras and Jonah Heim. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of at-bats and millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. So you go back to look at the studies, look at the research. It is oftentimes or almost exclusively the teams that have burgeoning payrolls that wind up making it deep and or winning the World Series. How many teams with a payroll under $100 million have won the whole dang thing? And I think that's an issue, that's a problem. And furthermore, I feel like this isn't getting talked about enough. The Rangers have somebody named Bruce Bochy as a manager. He's won the thing 3 times. He's got 3 rings to his name and 4 pennants. And I think that level of experience and confidence and trust in a guy like that can make a difference in the playoffs.
Oh boy, you're gonna hear it from the Kevin Cash fandom. Oh my God, what you have said, they're gonna come out in droves to pick it against you because you may never say anything bad about Kevin Cash, the 2-time Manager of the Year award.
How many rings though?
No rings.
And again, I don't want to put this isn't the Kevin Crash, Locked on Kevin Crash episode. It's all encompassing. It's the health, it's the youth, it's some managerial decisions and maybe lack of a gut feel. I think it's all tied in together. The attendance, if there were 30,000 screaming fans or whatever the capacity is, maybe that adds a little juice. And now I feel like the Trop's going to be really flat tomorrow.
And
you're going to be there.
I understand that it was 3 p.m. Nobody knew about it until like 2 days ago. I understand. And the 30-minute radius for the population is different than in Minnesota that had the same time and they showed out. I understand all of the differences but if you just look at like 2019 at 1 p.m., Rays fans showed up. Why didn't they show up today? That I don't understand. And they showed up 10 years ago. You can talk economic reasons, financial reasons. Okay, fine. But 2019, I mean, I know the world has changed in 4 years. So we can just leave it at that as like a scratch your head moment of like, really only 19K, whatever. That's not the point. If we've talked about Siri, we've talked about Yandy, we've talked about Glasnow. You just touched on Kevin Cash. I don't understand the bunting decision. And also you're losing 2-0. You're losing 2-0, and you have a man on first and second in the 6th inning. This is a turning point. Like, I don't care if Baseball Prospectus doesn't say this is high leverage.
Yeah.
It is. It's game 1 of possibly only 2. This is a big spot. This is a big spot. You need to bring a big guy in. You bring out the last man out of the bullpen, Chris Devenski,
who I predicted would make the playoff roster, and he did. I don't know if I expected him to be put in these types of situations at this juncture, but
Chris Devenski is who Kevin Cash is going to in the 6th inning, men first and second, no out. I understand people are going to go like, well, he got the 7th inning clean. Oh, when it's 4-zip, whoop-de-doop. When the Rangers are already like happy high-fiving each other because they know 4-0 in the 6th means it's probably good things for them. The way that Monty was pitching, yeah, there's less pressure on Devenski then. And there's, not as much focus on the Rangers hitters in the 7th inning. That's why he was clean. And it was unfortunate. Siri also put Devenski in a bad situation there with that throw. I understand, but he got that hit. But regardless, that was a Kevin Cash decision to say, who do I bring here now? Oh, I know. My man Devenski.
Yeah.
That's who I want. If I had painted this picture to any Rays fan in September and said, hey, we're losing 2-0 in the 6th inning with nobody out, who do you want in the bullpen? If we drew a bell, a curve, or you know what, a pie chart, the thinnest slice of the answers would have been Chris Devenski. In fact, if we would have been playing Family Feud, Chris Devenski would have gotten you a strike because no Rays fan would have said, yeah, that's a Chris Devenski spot right there. Oh, if I've ever known a Chris Devenski spot, it's in the 6th inning of the wild card game 1, 2-0 with two men on and nobody out. Yeah, that's when I won Chris Devenski out there. Unreal.
Well, the Rays aren't known for chasing wins, but you kind of got to do it in a best of 3 wild card. On the bright side, hey, the Rays have saved Pete Fairbanks and Sean Armstrong and Bob Stevenson and Colin Poche. They should be available and ready game 2 and game 3.
Yeah, thank you. 4 names out there. 4 names out there that you could have said, no, this is right. I want Sean Armstrong. I would rather see Sean. I would rather see Colin Poche against Marcus Semien, lefty against righty, than Chris Devenski, righty on Semien. Like, come on. Like, that is disgusting. And I put it out there, cheeky on X.com, or the artist formerly known as Twitter. Putting Chris Devenski out there, it should be grounds for a lawsuit. You kidding me, dog? You kidding me? Devenski, the last man in the bullpen. So there were many things in Tuesday's game that went wrong. The only good thing I see was that Tyler Glasnow stuff looked really nasty at times. 7 punchies, right? That was great.
Curveball was working against lefties and righties for sure. But you also had a guy named Jordan Montgomery who somehow switched bodies, switched roles, and Freaky Friday'd himself into Cliff Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And, I mean, not all joking aside, Jordan Montgomery has been really a revelation for the Rangers since he was acquired at, I guess, the trade deadline. But man, I was not expecting this good of an outing from him. But credit to what he does well. He's not going to strike out many guys, but he's also not going to allow a lot of Jimmy Jacks. And when there is a deep fly ball, it's to the deepest part of the ballpark and it stays in the ballpark. And then you mix in the fly outs, the pop outs, the ground outs, double plays. It makes for a tough time and a tough situation. So yeah, not a good sign.
Well, and now they've got a fresh Poche, fresh Sean Armstrong, fresh Stevenson, fresh Pete Fairbanks for Zack Eflin. To if he gets into any trouble, then they can have him. But guess what? Now, because they did that and they lost game 1, now game 3, you still need to win. But again, you don't win game 3 unless you win game 2. So that's what we have to look ahead. Is Zack Eflin, can you be the guy that you've been the whole season? 16 wins, that led the whole American League. In fact, the Rays were 22-8, 22-9 when he was starting. Yeah. So even if he doesn't get the decision, he usually left the team with a W by the end of the day. So you just got to hope that that's what they do. It's just, it was just, there are certain losses that hit you differently. Playoff losses obviously always will hurt more. But when you saw the team just play like The only good thing that came out of today, Randy
Taylor Wall's
Arozarena.
getting 2 hits.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the first one is counted as a hit. Whoa, it's definitely 2023. Randy Arozarena. Randy Arozarena getting his single, getting his double, catching his mom's first pitch. Who, by the way, my goodness, what an arm on that woman. She was lovely. That was the best thing out of Tuesday game. It was Randy Arozarena.
I hear actually they're going to activate Randy's mom and put her in center field in game 2 and game 3. That's just a rumor.
Okay.
They have a way to do that.
All right.
We have more to discuss, but Ulises, first we have to tell the audience something very important.
Yes. And you know what? If the one thing that made me smile today, Kevin, was the fact that when I opened my closet before recording, I had my bird dogs all clean.
Mm-hmm.
I had all my bird dogs clean. And I love using my bird dogs because guess what? They're like, they do the exact same thing as Lululemon, but they fit you way better. They're better than regular shorts because those are made with a stiff, restricting cotton, and bird dogs are not. They fix the issue by inventing clout knit fabric that looks just like the khaki pants, but they stretch so you get a way slimmer fit without having to sacrifice movement. So you can use them everywhere because guess what? If you do yoga, if you go to hang out with your friends, if you go to play golf, if you go to the Trop game 2 expecting a gosh darn really good win, guess what? Bird dogs are functional for any occasion. So today, go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB or enter promo code LockedOnMLB at checkout for a free Bird Dogs water bottle with your order. You heard me right. Again, go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB for a free water bottle at checkout. You don't and you won't want to take your bird dogs off. We promise you.
Yeah, you mentioned Zack Eflin, and it's good that he's playing the stop the nonsense role. Let's get back on track. And I think, it's a good spot for him and to hold the Rangers in check. The only issue, of course, is I'm not feeling so hot and so confident about this offense. And it's not like the Rangers are rolling out a slappy. Nate Eovaldi is very much Zack Eflin's equal. Maybe even more so. I mean, the guy has won a ring. He does have multiple All-Star appearances to his name. He has pitched in a Rays uniform, and he's pitched several years in a Red Sox uniform and a Yankees uniform. So he knows the Rays lingo and what they do and what it's like to pitch at the Trop. So he shouldn't be fazed or shocked or surprised by anything. It kind of goes back to my point of the Rangers have guys who have been in the league for a long time and have been there, done that. And I think that can play a role, whether it's a best of 3, best of 5, best of 7, whatever it may be. So, I mean, the onus is really on the offense to take care of business and get a lead early and let Eflin work and hold that lead.
Hopefully. And yeah, he has been good overall this season. I did read a tweet by @RaysMetrics, who has obviously always really good stuff. They said that after the injury that Eovaldi had, his fastball dropped almost a mile and a half.
Okay.
In velocity, which is not good news for a pitcher. The K rate went down 2.5%. The walk rate went up almost twice as much, from 7% to 13%. And then his ERA ballooned from 2.69 to 9.30. So hopefully that's exactly what we get tomorrow. But in order to get him to be a 9.30 ERA, Kevin, guess what you need to do? You need to get some hits together. You need to put some runs on the board together. And without a lefty lineup, you don't have a Luke Raley. You don't have a Brandon Lau. You don't have a he who must not be named from the left side. You're missing pieces there with the left-handed lineup. So hopefully, again, you're going to see the same names. You're going to see Yandy. You're going to see Randy. You're going to see Isak. I'm thinking Harold gets a start, even though it's a righty against righty, but he can hit
bat to ball. He can at least, get something going. See nice single, bleeder the other way. I don't know.
Josh Lowe, you're going to have to see him. I'm guessing Junior Caminero gets a start tomorrow. I would be surprised. That would be a very, and I'll say it, I think that's a dumb move if you don't put Junior Caminero on the starting lineup. It's just dumb.
At short, at third, just anywhere?
Right now, at the pace that Kevin Cash is making mistakes at this rate, just put him on the lineup. If you want to put him in center field, I'll clap. I'll be like, hey, thank you, Kevin Cash. Thank you for putting Junior Caminero on there.
That could happen.
I mean, we're at that point, folks. We're at that point.
Might as well put Manny Margot back in center.
I mean, my goodness. Look, this team has come from worse situations and gotten ahead. They beat these same Rangers in a 3-game series at the Trop earlier this year. Can they do it again? Of course they can. But it's just after watching that very frustrating loss, it's off-putting. But let's hope for good things. Eovaldi, after the injury, has not been the same. Zack Eflin, he's your stopper. He's your guy. You're going to put some really good names back in there. Josh Lowe, hopefully Junior Caminero. I mean, who do you go with tomorrow, Bethancourt or Pinto?
Neither. I would think, quite frankly, I might just go with Bethancourt just for the experience factor. He's been around a little bit longer, although Pinto could be more likely to lean into one and hit one out of the yard. But really, whoever is most comfortable for the pitching staff, whatever the pitching staff votes on and prefers behind the plate, I'm fine with that. And if it's a wash, okay, so be it. But I would think that internally they have to have a preference. Who would you rather have catch tomorrow? And
Zach,
whoever that guy is, I'm on board with.
It's a Kevin Cash, Zack Eflin conversation. Hey, Zach, who do you want catching you?
Basically. No. So, all right, we'll get to a couple comments here from the listeners on the social medias. We put it out there. What do you think? I'm getting ahead of myself here like Kevin Cash. What did you think about today's Rays game? What went wrong? Brian Stark says Junior Caminero had ridiculous numbers against lefties in the minors. Why was he not in the starting lineup? Glasnow should have been pulled after 5. He completely dumped all of his energy after the 5th. Our buddy Ryan Hill said it was so uncharacteristic. Yandy and Siri were not ready offensively or defensively. Glass was off, but with some support, he could have had a decent outing. Tomorrow is a new day, luckily hoping they can put this one behind them and get back to it. Jake Stokes says, abysmal performance. Everyone was flat. No leadership was shown in the dugout. Playing flat is becoming a pattern in the playoffs. Oh, boy. Brian says we will never score in the postseason again. It seems. Caleb says it was as embarrassing as a game can be and everything. Jason says just give the Rangers a false sense that they can win. The Rays want a full house and rock the fans for the next 2 days. And Elijah says what went wrong was everything not named Randy Arozarena and Taylor Walls.
Wait, one of the comments I did like was Timothy Lafleur, who said, I could pay for a blue check mark and I still wouldn't have enough characters to cover all the things that went wrong in that game.
Oh, yeah, I missed that one. There we go. Good one, Timothy. Pretty soon, everybody's going to have to play. Play to pay basically for X. I think that's a rumor I heard. Or
that is a rumor. I'll talk to Elon.
I'll shoot him a text later. He should get to it by the end of tonight.
Look, and he'll sponsor the show. Look,
absolutely.
Look.
Okay. Will the Rays win this series?
Yes
or no?
Yes,
they will. Okay.
Of course they will. Look, we had our 29 minutes of dread. I got to vent. I hope you did too, Kevin. I hope you all did too. In fact, I hope you let it all out in the comments. You know, we said it. Leave it. How did you feel about the game? Leave it in the comments. Vent. This is why we do this. This is a platform for you to vent. And then tomorrow, if you're going to that game, you cheer your butts off. You scream until your throat is sore. And then the next day at work, you say, oh yeah, I think I have laryngitis or something. I don't know what's coming up. I don't know. I don't know what happened, boss. That's what you say. That's what you say. You cheer on these people that we saw 162 games and we're not going to clap for these guys. Let's
More
go.
cowbell.
Let's go. Come on. We got this.
They need you in the dugout. Provide some hype and energy.
I'll hype the hell out of them. In English, in Spanish, in French. Let's go.
Like Kevin Cash, go to the hotel early. I got this one. I'll take over. I'm not as confident as you based on what was witnessed in game one.
Let me rephrase it then. They will win this series if they win game 2. Is that too dumb?
Okay. No, I get what you're saying. If they win game 2, they have enough momentum to win game 3, and you got to empty it all out. If you have to use a pitcher an inning to give the Rangers a different look and not let the same the batter see the same pitcher for 2 at bats, so be it.
Kevin Cash, front office, listen and listen closely. Tomorrow, Wednesday's game 2, wild card. If you're down 2-0, if you're down 3-0, do not punt the game. It's the last one. You play it like it's 0-0. You play it like it's 0-0. Enough. We don't like to chase wins because, if we do the Pythagorean theorem here and none. You win. You win. Because there's no tomorrow. There's just recliners waiting for you if you put a last man out of the bullpen in the 6th inning. It's Doritos.
Hot take. Kevin Cash wants this season to end based on all the on the field and off the field transgressions and situations that have occurred. He's like, I need a breather. I need this season to be over so I can sit back on my back porch, have a scotch, a cigar, and not think about baseball for the next month.
You tell me, is FSU good in college football this year?
Yes.
Okay, then that's probably it then. He's like, I got to watch some Knowles football. That's what it is. That must be it. No,
that's
not
what
punt
all
games.
FSU football fans sound like, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know why I came up with that. Do not punt games. Do not punt game 2. Enough. You're in the playoffs. You're in the playoffs, son.
That is true. And you're at home.
And you're
even though the games are at 3 p.m.
You're at home.
Yeah. The powers that be, the deep state of baseball and television networks and media conglomerates do not want the Rays to advance. That's why they put these games on at 3 p.m., knowing that people can't make it across the bridge to watch the dang thing.
I don't understand the 3 p.m. thing. Like, if there are baseball diehards that are like, I can pick between the Twins and the Blue Jays. Okay, I'm a baseball nerd, but I'd be like, okay, you nerdo, like, pick a game. Buy 2 screens. I don't care.
I mean, what do we do on Football Sunday where you have 8 games going on at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m.? What do you do on the last game of the regular season for Major League Baseball where every game starts at 3 p.m.? So
thank you.
I'd be cool with that. You start the East Coast temes at 6 p.m., start the West Coast teams at 9 p.m., something
6 p.m.
to where they're
PM,
all getting primetime play.
Some sense of normalcy. Just like you guys put like stereo sound in the 2020 COVID season. So for some sense of normalcy, let's have some sense of normalcy and not 3 p.m. games on a Tuesday.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I'm done.
It's not the summer. We're in the heat of school and work and things of that sort. All right. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.